This next one was sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Mike Gunter in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Silo Mike Gunter. I've known Mike since the 80s. He's inordinately tall, preternaturally large, just huge.
I watched a clip from an interview with Ricky Morton where Ricky was asked if it was true that he turned down the NWA title during his feud with Ric Flair back in the summer of 1986. Morton said he actually won the title from Flair in Richmond, Virginia, but when he got back to the dressing room, they told him he had to break up the Rock and Roll Express, and Ricky said he told them they could have the belt back. He wasn't dumping Hoot. Did that really happen? And we actually have received over the past few weeks multiple questions about Ricky Morton claiming that he was going to be the NWA champion, or in this case, he gave them the belt back after winning the title.
You know, I don't mind calling Joey Ryan a sexual pervert, but I just hate to dispute the veracity of my old friend Ricky Morton's claims. However, in his defense, he may be conflating a few different incidents. I believe they did do a finish at one point where it was I don't think he ever left the ring, though, but I think they did one of those finishes where he got a false finish and a pin on Flair at one point in one of those big matches, and then something happened or was reversed or whatever, and they did take the belt away. That's entirely within the realm of possibility. How much more kind can I be? I got to be honest. And also remember, Ricky himself admits he only slept once in the 80s for about 15 minutes. But no, Ricky was so hot. He was the hottest babyface on the roster. And the Rock and Roll Express were, you know, obviously the hottest tag team that they'd had there in ages. And that's why that not only did Dusty want to, but Flair wanted to do an angle between Flair and Ricky, because he knew the matches would be great. They could draw money, but they were never going to, and it was never seriously discussed, put the belt on Ricky, at least long term, for anything more than maybe they might banter the idea back. He might win it in Greensboro and lose it in Charlotte the following week like Tommy Rich did in Atlanta. Maybe ended up not happening, but there was never going to be a long run because it would have been stupid to break the Rock and Roll Express up when you could put them in another town and they were drawing the same house as the NWA champion. Ricky also was a great worker, but he wouldn't have fit in that picture, because even though he was more over in some cases than the fucking main event babyface, single babyface, Ricky was more popular than Magnum TA, but it doesn't mean that he should have got the belt instead of Magnum TA. He wouldn't have fit that spot because of what they needed, somebody in the middle of that Magnum TA and Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and all those people could revolve around in the singles roster, and Ricky didn't fit that suit.
Well, to give you an example of some of the questions we've received, here's one from Ron Atkins. Is it true it was discussed putting the belt on Ricky Morton after Magnum TA's car wreck? Here's another one.
No.
This is from Jay Pagliaro in Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa. That's a Mesa, Arizona out there. I can't believe I got you on that. When have you ever heard of Mesa, Arizona?
You know what? I'm reading this quickly. It's completely my fault.
All right. I'm glad you admitted that. I expect this not to be edited out of the program.
Had Ricky Morton accepted Dusty's offer to become NWA World Champion and headline Starrcade, do you feel he would have become the big money singles star many felt he would become? It's known that the plan was for Ric Flair to regain the belt at the event, and the title reign was going to be a short one, yet it could have been a huge breakout opportunity for Morton. While Ron Garvin's run went over with the fans like a fart in church, I suspect Morton's would have been much more accepted and felt less rushed.
Now, wait a minute, is he saying if Ricky got it instead of Ronnie Garvin?
It appears that there's another story, because again, let me tell you how it began. Had Ricky Morton accepted Dusty's offer to become NWA World Champion? So apparently there's another line of thinking. There's one that he turned down the belt in 86 because he didn't want to break up the Rock and Roll Express. Apparently there's another one that he was going to get the belt after Magnum's car accident. And this one seems to imply that there's a story in the ether that Ricky Morton was going to get the short run that Ron Garvin got in late 1987.
Was any of those questions from Billings, Montana?
None of them were from Billings,
Okay,
Montana. From Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. No. But trust me, no booker or promoter wanted to break up the Rock and Roll Express in 1986 for any reason.